The GOP field narrows. One candidate drops out of the race, but frontrunner Donald Trump at a rally that just wrapped up tonight sets his sights on his Democratic rival. This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon. Trump blasting Hillary Clinton, mocking her claim at the Democratic debate that ISIS is using his words about Muslims as a recruiting tool.
She's terrible. Donald Trump is on video, and ISIS is using him on the video to recruit. And it turned out to be a lie. She's a liar.
He is demanding that Clinton apologize. You're going to hear her campaign's response to that, and outrage over some of the other comments he made about the Democratic frontrunner tonight. We'll have the very latest for you on that. A lot to get to this hour, but we want to begin with the day in Trump. Hillary Clinton was not the only object of Trump's wrath tonight, though she was the recipient of some pretty off-color attacks. We're going to get to that in a moment. He also had some choice words for reporters in the audience while talking about his new fan, President Vladimir Putin of Russia. Listen.
No, think of it. You know, it's Russia, after all. Somebody said, are you at all offended that he said nice things about you? I said, no. And they said, oh, Trump should have been much nastier. That's terrible. And then they said, you know, he's killed reporters. And I don't like that. I'm totally against that. By the way, I hate some of these people, but I'd never kill them. I hate them. No, these people, honestly, I'll be honest. I would never kill them. I would never do that. Let's see. No, I wouldn't. I would never kill them. But I do hate them, and some of them are such lying, disgusting people. It's true.
All right, let's discuss all of this now. Bob Beckel, author of I Should Be Dead, My Life Surviving Politics, TV, and Addiction. Katrina Pearson, the national spokesperson for Trump's campaign, and Republican strategist Rick Wilson. I think this is going to get our Monday off to a bang, so to speak. Rick, Donald Trump was pretty bombastic tonight, even though he was campaigning behind a Merry Christmas Trump podium. He played Christmas carols at the event. How does this race stand heading into this holiday season?
Well, it's the first time we've had a 12-year-old boy who's just learned some dirty words and finds them transgressive running for president. I mean, the guy is obviously playing this crowd dynamic that the more bombastic and the more lunatic he sounds, the more they enjoy it. And the fact of the matter is, you know, this is a guy who is a great showman, and he's having a ball doing this. But you know, to the 75% of Republicans who look at this and think, "Dear God, how is this guy ahead?" They're mortified by the fact that it's not presidential, and that he is a guy who you know takes the first thing in his mind and it comes out. The guy is verbally incontinent, and we've said this before, but he has no filter and he has no break. And at some point, you want to be somebody who's not just the guy who's saying whatever the hell you want to say off the top of your head, but you know. He's like I said, he's basically a 12-year-old boy running for president right now.
Katrina, Rick, I'm sure is referring to Trump saying this about the moment at Saturday night's debate where Hillary Clinton didn't make it back to the stage on time after a commercial break. Here it is.
I know where she went. It's disgusting. I don't want to talk about it. No, it's too disgusting. Don't say it. It's disgusting. Let's not do it. We want to be very, very straight up, okay? But I thought wasn't that a weird deal? We're ready to start. They were looking. They gave her every benefit of the doubt because, you know, it's ABC and she practically owns ABC. She really does.
So, Katrina, why even say something like that? I mean, to Rick's point, why shouldn't you have some sort of filter when it comes to that thing? You're talking about someone going to the restroom.
Well, I think I've said this before, too. And Mr. Trump is with his supporters. He is with them as he is one-on-one. He's very personable with them. When they're meeting with Mr. Trump and he's at these rallies, he's talking to them like he's sitting across from the kitchen table. But let's compare that to the Republican establishment, if we could. The Republicans that really don't say anything, that don't stand up for themselves, that really capitulate every time a Democrat says boo. So we do have a stark contrast in this race. And there is a reason that Donald Trump has been winning this election cycle. It's because he's not the establishment.
Katrina, let's get back to this. Let's get back to the comment. Let's get back to the comment. Stand by. I don't know anyone, and I'm asking any of you, and let's be honest. Do you guys talk that way at the kitchen table? My mom would smack the you-know-what out of me. Does anybody else speak that way? Or if I was on a date with someone, I would never speak to someone.
Nobody's going to admit it. Nobody's going to admit it.
Do you? Well, do you?
We've had some pretty intense conversations at my house, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this one, here's another one. He also said that she got schlonged, quote, schlonged by Obama in 2008. Listen to this.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Thanks for tuning in. Hillary got schlonged. Hey, Donnie. The Donald. Nobody wants to think about that. Nobody wants that in their head. Don't be talking about Hillary getting schlonged. We don't want to think about that. That's an image we don't need. Speaking of an image we don't need, they want to talk about somebody going to the can being off limits. Like, oh my God, how can you insinuate she was in the bathroom? When she, okay, images you don't want in your head. You really want to skip ahead on this video to where I'm done talking, because I'm going to give you an image you can't get out of your head. My first thought when Hillary was late coming back from the bathroom, or from whatever, their little break at the debate, if you didn't watch it, she got back on stage like 90 seconds later than everybody else. But my first thought was, she's getting her diaper changed. I mean, can't you just imagine this fucking Queen Hillary all laid back on her back with her legs spread, demanding somebody change her dirty diaper? Because, and I'm sorry to put that image in your head, and it's never going to go away, so you know. I mean, I just can't, it's like perfect for her. It's like, just change my dirty diaper. You know, I mean, and is she a smoker? She looks like a smoker to me. So I can just see her with the cigarette, with her legs, oh God, never mind. I don't want to get too visual, but, you know, I mean, I could just, and it turned my stomach, and I'm sorry if it's turning your stomach. But that was my first thought at the debate when that happened. And these guys want to act like somehow it's off limits to talk about her going to the bathroom or going whatever. I don't get it. These people are such pompous twats. Oh, Hillary got schlonged. Just the use of the word schlonged shows what a 12-year-old Donald Trump is. All right, so we're doing fundraising. Mox News needs your help. MoxNews.com. It's easy to make a donation. If you want to see Mox News stick around, go there now. And let me know that I have your support. It means a huge, it makes a huge difference in my life to know that I have your support. $5 means more to me than you can imagine. Okay? I'm not that the money's a deal. It's just it's you guys support it. You taking time out of your busy world to do something nice for me means more to me than $5 could ever mean to anyone. Okay, so thank you for your continued support. We'll get back to the video and Hillary getting schlonged. Stay cool.
Okay, so this one, here's another one. He also said that she got schlonged, quote, schlonged by Obama in 2008. Listen to this.
Let me just tell you, I may win, I may not win. Hillary, that's not a president. She's not taking us to, everything that's been involved in Hillary has been losses. You take a look, even a race to Obama, she was going to beat Obama. I don't know who'd be worse. I don't know. How does it get worse? But she was going to beat, she was favored to win, and she got schlonged. She lost. I mean, she lost. But I watched her the other night. It was hard. It was really hard, because there were a lot of other things on better, including reading books and reading financial papers, which I actually enjoy reading.
So you think that was, Katrina, was that just an off the cuff? Because schlonged usually means, you know, something else.
Well, I think he was meaning like slung to the ground, slung around. I mean, are we really talking about the definition of a word of Hillary Clinton
Come on,
beat?
don't even try that.
What does schlong mean then, Rick? Why don't you tell me what schlong means?
Katrina, you know what? Donald Trump's use of the word schlong is once again proof that he's a 12-year-old boy, that he's a man-child disguised as a candidate. This is a guy who's making
man-child that's beating all of your candidates.
Borscht Belt insult comic routine disguised as a presidential candidate. And I know, Katrina, that you're uncomfortable with the fact that you guys have, are playing defense on this today. But here's the thing. I know you're probably happier talking about this than you are talking about the use of nuclear weapons in a tactical basis, which was a moment of pure Trumpian genius from last week.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, would you love to talk about that? Would you like to tell us the Trump policy on the use of nuclear weapons, Katrina? Because I'd be fascinated to hear.
All right, so listen, hang on. Guys, I control where the conversation goes here, so let's just hang on a bit. We'll talk about nuclear weapons when we're ready to talk about it. Right now I want to discuss the comments made. Bob, here's the interesting thing. You're sitting back with your arms crossed looking at, two conservatives saying, well, is that what Democrats are doing? Like, well, here we go. We just have to sit back. Hillary Clinton saying we don't have to say anything. Just let them fight amongst themselves.
Well, it actually breaks my heart. I'm going to have to pick up the broken piece of my life and carry on watching these Republicans beat each other up. But look, here's the reality of the situation. You're going to be in Iowa now. We've got about 5 weeks till Iowa. Trump's support in Iowa, and I was out there for 3 days. Trump's support in Iowa he's got a lot of support, but there are people who don't normally go to caucuses, one. And two, he doesn't have an organization. He says he does, his people says he does, but he doesn't. And there are almost 1,900 precincts out there that need precinct captains. He doesn't have anything close to that. Now, Cruz does, and Cruz's support is rock solid. So I think maybe a surprise in store for Trump. Now, maybe that he defies it again. It may be that he can get people who don't normally go to caucuses to come out at that night at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock and go to a precinct and sit there and wait to cast their votes. But my experience, and I've been out there 6 different presidential campaigns, I've never seen anything like it. Now, maybe he can pull it off, but I doubt it.
Hey, you know what, Katrina? Let's talk about that, okay? Because that's important. I'm sure you read the New York Times report about that Donald Trump not having the ground game in Iowa, that he needs to get it together. Here's what the Times says. It says, Mr. Trump's Iowa director predicted that he would recruit a leader for each of the state's 1,681 Republican precincts by Thanksgiving. Instead, the first major training session for precinct leaders drew only about 80 people to West Des Moines last weekend, with about 50 participating online. So Katrina, what does this say? Do you think that the Trump campaign can get it together in Iowa? And what's going on there?
Oh, absolutely. There is a precinct captain in all 99 precincts, and they are working very hard. And Bob's right. There are a lot of new caucus goers that will be showing up to caucus for Mr. Trump specifically. I'm not going to really use the New York Times as our source of campaign intel, but I can tell you that there is an organization in Iowa, and it is very strong.
For people who don't know, Bob, Rick, for people who don't know really how important this is, give us an idea about having, precinct leaders or captains in Iowa, what this contest means, this caucus.
Well, it's
in Iowa particularly.
Yeah, I'll give you a shot at that. First of all, there are 99 counties in Iowa. There are almost 1,700, I guess, precincts.
Right.
And if you don't have somebody who is in charge of that precinct, who's going to be there when these voters show up, who is going to organize people to get them there. This is not like a primary where the polls are open from 7 in the morning till 8 at night. This is going at a particular hour at a particular time, and you get in there and you take your vote. Now, if you're not used to doing that and you don't have a history of being a caucus goer, that makes it that much more difficult to identify them and get them to a precinct. Now, maybe the Trump organization, I just missed it when I was out there. But I'll tell you, I have a lot of experience doing this, and I couldn't find it. Now, maybe in the next 5 weeks, you'll be able to put it together, but that's an awfully short period of time to cover 1,700 places. And that's what it's talking about here, 1,700 caucus places.
Rick Wilson, and it was not so fast, so that's what Bloomberg News followed up with. More than 100 people attending a Trump event in Iowa this weekend, and found that half of them had caucused before, figuring if they've caucused before, then they're more likely to do it again. Does that mean that Donald Trump, you think, can still pull this off?
Well, I still think there's a big question of whether or not the infrastructure is in place from the Trump folks to do this. And it's kind of a black box because Donald Trump's campaign is primarily driven by earned media. In fact, it's almost exclusively driven by earned media. We haven't seen in the campaign finance reports a lot of indicators or signals that they're investing the money on the ground in Iowa. So it's really, like I said, it's sort of a black box at the moment as to whether or not there's something real there, or whether or not this is another earned media stunt by the Trump campaign that's not backed up by the actual boots on the ground. By all the reports I've heard from folks I know in Iowa, they feel like the Cruz organization is really working very hard on the ground and has a pretty deep bench of folks in the 99 counties and in the precincts. But I don't think that you've seen the same sort of commitment in those counties from the Trump folks, anecdotally or otherwise, that indicates a real depth of organization there. And you're not seeing it in the campaign finance reports so far either,
All right.
of them investing the actual time and money there.
I want all of you to stick around because I want to talk about this coming up, why Donald Trump is saying Hillary Clinton owes him an apology. We're going to discuss that, and maybe he's right. Plus, President Obama slams Trump, accusing him of exploiting the anger felt by many blue-collar workers. Also ahead, President Obama speaks out on how he sees Donald Trump's campaign as Donald Trump goes on an attack tonight against Hillary Clinton. Back again with me, Bob Beckel, Katrina Pearson, and Rick Wilson. Okay, Katrina, you first. I want your reaction to what the president told Steve Inskeep about Donald Trump exploiting the anger of blue-collar workers. What do you think when you heard that?
Well, I thought this was rich, considering that the president, when he first ran for office, pretty much sectioned off everyone and placated to their victimhood, and now he's playing the victim himself. When we have to look at what's happened over the last 7 years, Don, we have this president who actually argued to issue drone strikes on U.S. citizens on U.S. soil without due process, not to mention the IRS targeting, all of the things that he promised and couldn't deliver. And guess what? Your healthcare premiums did go up. If Americans are afraid, if there's fear out there, it is not because of Donald Trump.
Rick, you're no fan of Donald Trump, as you have made quite clear on this show and just about everywhere else. Where do you stand on this?
Well, look, the president has always been a product more of the most elite segment of society than he would like to admit. And, you know, he's a guy who came through elite prep schools and was treated with kid gloves his entire life. And so I don't think he's ever had a real connection to what's actually going on in America. I think the bitter clingers remark, as you reviewed with Steve Inskeep earlier in the thing, was a very telling moment for President Obama. He is a guy who has never gotten what's happening in America. He's complaining about our fear of ISIS when he's more worried about the weather than about a terrorist group that he once called
Rick,
the JV
I don't remember
team
Barack
sweeping across the
Obama
Middle
growing
East.
up with a silver spoon. I mean, you know, a single mother, and you know.
He went to the best prep school, one of the best prep schools in the country. He went to Ivy League universities. This is a guy who had a pretty easy skate in his lifetime. This was not a guy living hand to mouth who dragged himself up out of the gutter.
Bob, do you? I mean, the guy gets good grades and he gets to go to an elite prep school. I mean, how do you?
Yeah,
fault him for that?
I'm not sure I miss where the American dream is there. I mean, obviously he didn't come out of money. His mother and his father were divorced. He was living with his grandmother. I mean, but leaving that aside,
the guy went through life as a fairly privileged guy. From the moment he got
I
into prep
suppose you could
school.
say that about anybody that graduates from an Ivy League school. But let's get back to the point here. Is there anger in this country among blue-collar workers, what is known as the Reagan Democrats? Yes. Is it over the economy? Yes, it is. Is Donald Trump tapping into that? Yes, he is. Now, that's
the only person the only Democrat, Bob, and I'll let you finish, who's ever been able to sort of capitalize on that is Bill Clinton. How do you think Hillary Clinton's going to do with that? Can she make headway?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that group is pretty tough for the Democrats to get back, frankly. I mean, we don't do well with white men, somewhere around the upper 30s or 40%. But so I don't think she's going to do that well with it. But Trump is most populists who come along, and this goes back. Populism is not new. It goes back to William Jennings Bryan, and all the way up to Ross Perot, and it's something that when you know how to tap into it, and Trump's good at doing that, you can get a lot of support in the polls. The question I've got is, when you get into presidential politics, it becomes an election day issue. Can you deliver your voters to the polls? And some can and some can't. Some overdo their polls, some underrate their polls. So I'm very suspicious about whether Trump can convert this or not. But as I said, I'm one of those people that from the beginning, just like you, Don, said, let's not write this guy off. I mean, this is a strange year, and people are angry. So.
If someone tells you they're going to run for president, I take them seriously. All right, Katrina, this one is for you, and probably a home run for you. Donald Trump tonight also took on Hillary's claim at the debate that ISIS is showing videos of Donald Trump to recruit. Here's how Trump responded.
And you see Hillary, I mean, did you watch that? What happened to her? No, she's terrible. She's terrible. Donald Trump is on video, and ISIS is using him on the video to recruit. And it turned out to be a lie. She's a liar. No, it turned out to be a lie. Turned out to be a lie. And the last person that she wants to run against is me. Believe me. Believe me.
Okay, so Katrina, just as there was no evidence of thousands of Muslims in New Jersey celebrating, there is no evidence that ISIS is using Donald Trump videos or sending them out to recruit. Is this Trump getting a dose of his own medicine and Hillary Clinton getting a dose of her own medicine saying, hey, listen, Donald Trump is doing these terrible things? Because she was upset when he said that.
Well, no, this is not the same thing. I mean, this was an actual observation that Mr. Trump recalled from 14 years ago.
But there's no evidence. We're saying there's no evidence of it. There's no evidence of either situation.
There is evidence of it happening.
It never happened.
It did happen. There's another report that came out today in New Jersey talking about the exact same thing.
Did it say thousands and thousands? No, it did not. I know you love this particular line of BS.
Rick, did it happen?
Stop, you're embarrassing.
Did it happen or did it not?
He said he saw thousands and thousands on television. That is the key fact, Katrina. Thousands and thousands did not happen.
That is the key fact, which is exactly what I said, Rick. This is something that he recalled. Hillary Clinton made up. She said that there is a video with Donald Trump in it going around when it's not Donald Trump.
It's not the first time.
I'm sorry, this was my question. Dawn, can I answer your question?
One at a time.
Dawn, can I answer your question?
It's not the first time Hillary Clinton has made something up.
Let her say her piece.
It's not the first time, but that's my whole point, Rick. That's my whole point. Hillary Clinton made up the video about Benghazi and didn't even bother to tell the American people about it until after it came out on its own. So yes, Mr. Trump is asking for an apology because that is something that she didn't recall. She just sat there and made it up. But she should definitely apologize to those family members who lost their lives during Benghazi.
Rick, I got to go, but I'll give you the last word. And Bob, we'll just sit here and eat popcorn and watch it. Go ahead.
Well, listen, I think that the only thing you can really say here is that Hillary Clinton schlonged him on that video tonight. So he can respond in kind and expect the apology, which Hillary will never give him.
They'll go make up a video tonight just to say I told you so.
Boy, oh boy,
They'll go make up a video
All right, this
tonight.
is really gone. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.